Afternoon, everybody. I will be your food coma speaker of the afternoon. My name is Rob Johnson. I'm from Comcast Spectacor and the Philadelphia Flyers. We work out of the Wells Fargo Center, that is to my left, your right. Past 18 months or so, we've been working a lot to upgrade the technologies that we have inside the Wells Fargo Center to keep up with our world-class status of being one of the top venues in the country. So today, pushing the limits of technology in sports venues. And this will go, particularly just for time's sake, more towards the mobile space, certainly talking about Wi-Fi and connection, some experimental technologies we've been working with, including iBeacons, Bluetooth marketing, and proximity, and then just touching on virtual reality, all of which really do have a limit at some point of how much your fans and how much your guests will actually consume in the venue. So a little bit about Comcast Spectacor before I even start. Comcast Spectacor is part of Comcast, and then in this map of conglomerate companies, you can see where Comcast Spectacor includes the Philadelphia Flyers, the Wells Fargo Center, and our company Spectra, which is our venue management, food service, and also ticketing company. So just put in perspective of how Comcast and Comcast Spectacor act together into one harmonious group. We call it Symphony. But being able to have the learnings of these different companies allows us to try things fast, to fail fast, and really to learn across the companies where we can get better. So for today's agenda, we're going to talk about a few technologies that we've added to the Wells Fargo Center, including digital coverage, adding Wi-Fi as really table stakes as part of the customer experience these days, particularly now that there are data plans that have limits, there's data caps, there's people being throttled, and the devices are always getting more complicated and certainly more advanced. The second screen engagement, while guests are at the arena, while they're at home, we know that they're going to have their mobile device with them. How can we engage not only the product on the ice, on our video board, but also in their hand as soon as they're looking down, giving fans the relevant information that will make them at least grow as a fan and grow as a customer for us. Proximity marketing, I'll go into use cases for what we've said is one of the largest deployments of iBeacons. Certainly you'll see, and there's almost 700 iBeacons that are in the Wells Fargo Center today. And then touching on 360 video and virtual reality, and the couple uses that we've found to date we think is pretty engaging for the guest. So let's talk about digital coverage and what we have across the parking lot here. Right now we have 100% coverage, and this is a distributed antenna system. Our DAS coverage is the 2G signal, your 3G, and your LTE. It's 100% covered in the building for people who want to use data plans. We have 350 wireless AC access points. This is one of the latest generations of Wi-Fi signal that you can get. So your iPhone 6, iPhone 6S, they pull from wireless AC, makes for a great experience. Like I said, we have 700 Bluetooth beacons, which far exceeds what a venue actually needs, but I'll get into why we did that. And then with that, and part of the engagement, we have about 350 to 400,000 Flyers app downloads. So we're on a lot of mobile devices as the Flyers, as Comcast Spectacor, and as the Wells Fargo Center in order to engage with people. We all know they're coming into the building with their mobile devices. How can we better engage them with technology and making sure that they're having a better experience? So a little bit about the stats for the Wi-Fi. So the numbers go approximately 40% of fans during the Flyers playoff run were connected to the Wi-Fi system. We find that it's growing exponentially as people discover the Wi-Fi system. As they have newer devices, they're using it more. So 500 megabits per second, 500 gigabytes per game between upload and download. And one of the most surprising things that we did find is that people are sharing more than consuming. So at home, everybody talks about your download speed and how fast you can consume. Here, it's how fast you can share. So when you're with an experience, we want to make sure that you have the ability to get that selfie up to the video board, that you're able to share that snap, that you're able to post on Facebook, because that is most of the traffic is people sharing their experiences on the social networks. And then most of what we found and what I wanted to share, the newer the device, the more they are engaging with us. So as the device becomes faster, as it can take advantage of the newest wireless technologies, people are consuming at a faster rate. There's less of a friction between what the user wants to do, and certainly the speed is there. And then social engagement. We know that most of our arena at any given time is on a social network. So we really focus on the second screen game experience. And as you can see, a couple things up here. Just as you'll see on the video board, these are items that you'll also see on your phone. So if you were going to watch a great replay and you missed it and you're looking at your phone, your Twitter feed, your Facebook feed, your Snapchat will all at the same time simultaneously have a replay or have that big play. If you're at certainly at a concert, there will be information that will be passed to your mobile phone. And being able to engage in the second screen experience, we think is critical not only for the home user, but also very much at the arena, particularly in the sports realm. In-arena social, and I know a lot of venues are doing this, so we'll put it on here just because, but being able to put what you're at least capturing, get that up onto a video board and share that with the rest of the arena. There is a vanity play there, fans love it. I did put on Flyers Selfie, which we started a hashtag, put your hashtag Flyers Selfie up on the video board, and literally everybody and their grandmother started putting selfies on the video board, and this was one of the best engagements that we got out of putting anything on a video board. And you'll see the one on the left, it's just a grid, it's a matrix, something you'll see standard. We try to make it as something that is very contextually relevant or something that fans love, and we'll just do more of it to get it up on the screen. However, engagement certainly always has its limits, and we're also making the game happen at that time. So we also use the second screen experience to make sure that we're sharing appropriately. And proximity marketing, and we have spent a significant amount of time exploring what proximity marketing is. And for those who have heard about beacons, this is direct engagement between your venue, between your location, between something that is just a picture on a wall and the mobile device. So what have we done is with the 350,000+ Flyers mobile app users, we did a marketing experiment. And in order to engage with us, we had simple fan communication. If you download the free Flyers app, you turn your Bluetooth on, you don't have to pair, you don't have to do anything else. You unlock exclusive offers and content throughout the arena. So here's an example here. When you're walking up to the Wells Fargo Center, and this is an example of what we did last year. Welcome to the Wells Fargo Center will appear on your phone with nothing else happening. Here's 5 things to know about your game tonight. And why did we pick that particular article or piece of content? Well, we know at the exact time that people are walking up, the most read item on PhiladelphiaFlyers.com is 5 things to know about your game tonight. So instead of having people having to search for the content they're trying to do, we're actually pushing it to them in a relevant way at a relevant time to make sure that the discovery process is almost like magic. Throughout the arena, and if you've spent significant money upgrading any one of your we have a hat trick display, and every hat trick that's ever occurred in the Wells Fargo Center, it lives in a box. And we have all these hats and an old square monitor, and it looks like it's straight out of 1996, because it really is. Well, we gave it some life. And because of the fan fatigue that'll set in, if a person comes to your venue, they'll see something once, they'll see something twice. You might have spent $1 million on it. However, I already saw that. I'm moving on. What we can do with proximity marketing and beacons and what we've been trialing out at the Wells Fargo Center, you walk up to this hat trick display, and the next time you're at the Wells Fargo Center, you can try this. And if you open your app, and that's all the engagement you need, it'll magically put all of the videos for every hat trick that ever occurred in the Wells Fargo Center in the palm of your hand. So you walk up to the display, so instead of just watching a loop, you'll have every single highlight on your phone that's searchable. You can share it with your friends. You can take it with you where you want to go. But we made a display that was literally from 1996, brought it up to 2016, just by including a beacon and a little bit of time in order to make sure we had the right videos in the right place. And here's another example of the picture on the far left. If it's hard to see, it's a very crowded bar asking, hey, what's on tap? I can't go and see. This is my staff's favorite way of using beacons. You open your app inside the bar, and it'll tell you live what beer is on tap, so you can just walk up to the bar and order that. And then we'll change that on the back end in real time. But the proximity marketing and knowing that this app and these people are in this particular bar, they're probably looking for what beer or what drink is on tap, and being able to bring that to them without having to discover, that's where we find a lot of value in proximity marketing and beacons. It's not walking around an arena and getting an alert every time a hot dog is $1 off or every time something else happens. These venues are circles. They're going to delete your app before they're going to turn off notifications. So making sure it's contextual, making sure that, and you can see even with wearables and an Apple Watch, a lot of these notifications, they'll go the way the consumer wants them to go, and we can interact in a way that's engaging. Here's an example and something we trialed. Instead of sending people to Facebook or to a third-party app, we can say, we'll turn a beacon live inside the entire Wells Fargo Center, open your Flyers app, which is a one-touch engagement, and you'll be able to vote for your favorite player of the game, or whatever promotion that you want to do. We'll ask you who your favorite player is, your seat, your section, and at the end of the day, we can put that against who is actually sitting in the seat, who may have passed the ticket off. We can build our database just from simple engagement using proximity marketing and beacons. And there's plenty of options outside of arena and proximity marketing. We've gone with partners of, you take a little chip, we'll put it in your store, and you can get offers just using the Flyers app, walking into certain locations, you're 10% off at a store, your free coffee from a Dunkin' Donuts. Being able to engage right on the mobile device has been a priority certainly for a lot of our partners, but how we want to grow our relationship in the future, getting right to the device. In this map here, you can see if anybody here has a sports team, you know there's enough sports bars. How can we take what we do in the venue, our marketing plans, our engagement, and bring that same experience to the mobile device across every sports bar in Philadelphia? Well, it's a $3 chip in order to take a beacon, put it in the back of a TV, and whether it's a beacon or not, you could even use Wi-Fi data in order to know where people are. But the contextually relevant offers and communication, that's what seems to be driving more adoption and more engagement through the mobile apps. I'll touch on 360 and virtual reality. We've just started getting into this space. There are a few small players in here. YouTube will ingest 360 videos. Google Cardboard is in the middle here. Certainly there's the Oculus Rift, and then Facebook. But taking and what would be a $300, $400 Theta S camera, we're able to do some really amazing things with engagement. So this post here, and I left the numbers on so you could see. So this was back in January. We took a 360 camera and we put it right next to where the players warm up. These players were, if you look through your phone, would interact as close as me in this podium. And there's only 1.2 million people that like the Flyers on Facebook. 2.2 million was the reach for this. So you can see the engagement in 360 video and how people are really excited to be a part of what this next generation of technology can bring. The biggest question was, can we see this during a game? No, but we'll see that in the future. But finding different engagements and making it's very inexpensive to bring a very high quality visual product to people, and that's certainly been popular as of late. And then even with our new suites, we've just renovated our suites over at the Wells Fargo Center. So instead of what we normally do, bring in virtual reality construction or virtual reality production company, we decided to go at it alone, and we were able to make custom 360 virtual reality pitches to clients using Google Cardboard. And you can see on the screen it says premium seating. We can change that out to be any company's name, and we'll send this out to clients. They'll use their cardboard. They'll have that oh wow experience, and it's really been engaging to have clients look at these great suites and look in, certainly from a sales perspective, to have something new to have that touch point with. So we talked about all these items, and all of them really touch the mobile device, and they're draining the mobile device. And when we engage with people, there is a limit. And we have tried to put HD video and 4 different channels onto your phone. Do we want to take the video board feed? Do you want a CSN feed? What else do you want to do on your phone? Do you want to order things to your seats? And everybody has been trying to crack this code. There's a limit to it. And it's the battery life. So until we're able to figure out, is our value proposition for what we're doing and what we're giving these people, these fans, enough for us to take their battery life, it's not going to be successful. So that includes whatever you're putting on your video board, your in-stadium seating, your in-stadium ordering, anything that you're going to do as far as video on the phone, massively will drain their phone, and people are aware of this. We've added charging stations. Certainly it's not practical for our arena at this point to have a charger at every seat, but that is the limit. And making sure that you're giving a value proposition to your fans, to your guests, of we're going to offer all of this great content to you, it has to be good enough to give up the battery life. Any questions? Yes, sir.
How have you, a lot of these technologies, would you said they would have been already released into effect if the Democratic Convention wasn't coming? Like, is that something that's every so many years a venue needs to get upgraded, or is
So
there?
your question is the Democratic National Convention affecting our upgrades and what we're doing?
Correct.
It is not. We started this process in discovery of trying to upgrade the Wells Fargo Center. We're always trying to be better. This is our flagship. This is where we want to test things and then send it to other markets that we operate venues or we have customers. The DNC, certainly in the technology going into it, we can learn a lot from that as well, so what they're able to do. But it is not affecting our plans to upgrade. It's not affecting certainly our plan to make the best possible experience.
Was that Facebook 360 video live, or what was the background?
Asking about the Facebook 360 video, it was recorded pregame, and we were able to edit and get it up by the second period. Just because it was new and we're learning. We can now do it almost in real time. So we'll take a pregame, we'll take something that goes on the ice, like a Gostisbehere goal, and we'll put that within probably a period or so. We'll get that the quickness and the relevancy will actually drive your numbers up. And that's across any second screen experience. If it's quick, people will engage with it a lot better. But for the 360 video, that was, it was pretty quick. It went for weeks though. It was over the course of probably about 5 or 6 days. For Facebook, when the algorithm, it changes every week anyway, you'll see an explosion at first and then it'll trickle down. So if I looked at that today, there'll probably be another 100,000 or so of reach of people that have interacted with that particular video.
Rob, I'm curious, did you produce a 360 video yourself, or did you go out of house?
We did it all in-house. And this was just like how fast getting the second screen experience is to the device. We had to train our staff. So my social media staff, the digital media staff, everybody now knows how to shoot, edit, and to get content up because it has to be at lightning speed, particularly if you're using Twitter in a real-time setting. Seconds is what we're going to get the most relevancy for. And if somebody's going to be faster than us, whether it's a blogger, whether it's another sports outlet, the information we feel should come from us. So all of our staff, we've sat down, we've learned how to edit, we know how to edit 360 video now. The process it's a learning process. However, it's now required, and that's how we're able to keep up with the speed. And it's not a large staff either. There's 2 of them.
We have a question. So do we see a time that there will actually be power, USB power at every seat?
That's a tough one, and I'll leave that to the engineers to keep telling us no, because between the cost and the engineering. But these venues, how many, just like your home, how many outlets will need servicing for over how much period of time? Also, the same point, if we put 20,000 outlets in the Wells Fargo Center and we move to wireless charging in 5 years or some other type of charging, now we've invested this for really not a great reason. So I think the engineering problem is probably bigger than most, but it's a significant cost. And we want to have a fair price for our experiences and to keep costs at least moderate enough where it's not possible today.
Just overall, what is the user experience, the user level of the live multi-camera content? During in-venue video content that's,
So we did test this, and
Yes.
there was Cisco Stadium Vision Mobile was the product that we were using, and it was for multicast. It was a phenomenal product in 720p. People would use it, and I would say other venues, particularly on the West Coast that have live video, people will use it for 2 minutes. They'll say, "Oh, neat." They'll see their battery draining, and then they'll put it away. And that's really what it's been. Is the experience of, I'm at this event, how long do I really want to watch this? Can I get my Uber on the way home because I've been watching video this entire time? These are things that go through the guest's mind.
With the beacons and the proximity marketing that you're talking about, what kind of data are you able to capture about your fans besides just where they are in the arena? And if there is any, do you fear that there may be data privacy concerns in the future?
Yes, absolutely. Knowing where a device is and getting any type of PII Personally identifiable information is something that, as we're trying to experiment, as we're trying to learn, we stay away from. So we know that there is a device. We know that device might be an iPhone. We don't know who the user is at this time, and we'll engage with them only so we can learn on the back end in aggregate. Once we get to a level of knowing who that device is and we ask the proper permissions, we will get to that point, but it has to be the right product, it has to be the right offering for us to even make that ask. Because as the team and the trust that's put in, particularly the team and the venue, we don't want to violate that, and that's critical to us.
Just a question on the Bluetooth. So you have it so that people just fire up and turn on their Bluetooth and they're connected, right?
Correct. With Bluetooth beacons, particularly on iPhones, the Eddystone version on Google is very similar. There's no pairing required. It's simply you have the proper mobile app, whatever is connected to that spot. You open your app, and the magic will occur right on your screen. And that experience is all built on the back end. We ask people to open their app versus sending them an alert, because how annoying is it to get all those alerts? It's not practical. So we made beacons different than a lot of retail industry leaders have done, different than other sports teams have done. We make it a discovery process. So we'll have a physical sign with the same three things that we're talking about. Make sure your Bluetooth's on, hit the Flyers app, and the magic will occur. The relevancy based on where you're standing at that moment.
How have you found that has increased traffic and just engagement with the app versus the traditional Wi-Fi or LTE? Or
I would say it's growing, and because wireless and your Wi-Fi is more likely to be on, and this is battery concerns as well, is more likely to be on than Bluetooth. And proximity marketing doesn't have to be Bluetooth. It can be Wi-Fi. It can be whatever the next thing is. It's a challenge, but the wearables have certainly helped. So we've seen a jump over the past year, particularly when the Apple Watch came out. We saw a jump in people that walk in the building with their Bluetooth on, the connected car, and people leaving their car with Bluetooth on. So we have seen it build steadily, and I'm not going to sit here and say Bluetooth is the absolute future. However, proximity marketing and knowing where a device is and giving that contextual relevant information, that will be the future. How we get there is really anybody's guess at this point, but it is a challenge, particularly for the Bluetooth at this time.
With the proximity marketing, have you seen the ability to replace elements of your game day programs that you're pushing information to the fans so that maybe you're not having to print as many, or it's a little bit more green, something like that?
We will, and I would say we'll do exclusive pieces of content in order to have people engage with downloading the app or turning their Bluetooth on. We will have that. Certainly custom content pushes a lot of behavior, but as far as the printing of any programs, that's organically coming down just because people are buying less print. But be able to go green and have an all mobile experience, I think we have to solve one big problem first. So the question was, is the app and having proximity marketing driving more sales? And the answer is, because we don't collect PII, I don't have a definitive answer. However, we have learned and witnessed people like, oh, neat, I can see what's on tap, and we'll buy an extra beer because of it. Or they'll find it cool, or there's some novelty to it. So there is that halo effect as it becomes a newer technology. To be able to trace it from this person is in the bar, we know that they ordered a specific Bud Light. We're years of creepy technology away from making that happen. However, it can. So there is an example that using a sponsor, so we have a Toyota that's on the concourse. It's a Toyota Camry. And if you walk by this Toyota Camry, what they have been doing is they have an iPad, and you guys have seen this before. You put in your information to this iPad, and then they'll give you information on that Toyota Camry. But we're able to put a beacon in the car and say, open your Flyers app instead of touching this iPad. And now people actually gave more information to Toyota because it was their own device and they trusted it more versus touching an iPad that was on the car. So it says, hey, check out this Toyota Camry. They're looking at a Toyota Camry. So being proximity aware will drive engagement. You just have to do it correctly in a very not creepy way. Just the same as when you were first purchasing your Amazon shopping cart, started walking around, following around the internet, and it was a little creepy. That technology takes a little bit of time to develop.